Okay, I'll begin my narration. Here we are on the Senate office tour with Sarah, and Dan, and Lynn and Barbara, and me.
And at this point, we're actually walking underneath the street. This is an underground tunnel over to Russell Office Building.
So I heard that like the senators have like a little underground car that goes back and forth.
We'll be going in it.
Oh, we will. Oh, that's great. That's great. Is it the one that has like two fronts on the car?
Yes, we'll be going in that one. There are actually two different metro systems. There's one that goes from Dirksen and Hart, which is the more modern of the two. And then there's the more old-fashioned one that goes from Russell.
Great.
I prefer the old-fashioned one a little bit. I don't know. Like, they're both really cool. I didn't know about them until I started here either.
Because my dad had actually mentioned that they have that two front-facing car that they travel on. So.
Well, I mean, when you're walking back and forth that often, it really does add up. So.
Great.
They send us to who knows where.
Okay, this is a tiny room in the basement of the Capitol. Go.
So what do you guys do besides do tours like this? You guys have like...
Well, we sort faxes, we sort constituent mail, we help answer some constituent mail. We do tours, obviously. What else do we do? Just daily office activities. We actually will go to hearings sometimes and take notes if one of the regular staffers can't make it.
Whatever the staffers don't want to do themselves.
Do you guys serve a limited term here as interns?
Yeah, it's a semester basis,
Okay,
so we're
you're
both here
college
with the
students. Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm a senior in American, and Dan
I'm
is
a junior at George Washington.
Okay. Studying political science or something like that?
International affairs,
Great. See, I did the Capitol tour a couple years ago, but like that was just like waiting in line for an hour outside, and then kind of rushing you in, rushing you out.
It's a lot more personalized if you do the ones to the your actual representatives. They can take up to 40 people on those tours.
So I guess
I'm not sure how you can understand or hear anything that they're saying.
Indeed.
I also don't think I'd want to be leading a group of 40 people. So.
All right.
And I think those poor guys get paid for that.
Yeah.
From what I hear, they have the special jackets and the...
But it must be pretty rewarding just to be able to see government in action, if that's what you're interested in.
It definitely is. I mean, because we have the special staff passes, we can basically just walk into the gallery whenever we feel like it. And if we always have C-SPAN on in the office, and so whenever we see that everyone's there, okay, let's go down to the gallery right now. And just hang out there for a while and watch what's going on.
Yeah, the last tour I gave, it was last week. Actually, Senator Specter was like walking in the hallways with us in the Capitol.
Arnold Specter?
So he chatted with us a little bit. He chatted with the people on the tour a little bit.
I see.
We were happy about that. That usually doesn't happen on tours, as far as I've been on.
But it is cool, though, to be walking into the train and all of a sudden you notice that all the senators stepping out of the trains because there must be a vote in 5 minutes. Kind of step aside.
So what's the statue here? Is that the same as on the Capitol Dome?
It is. This is a plaster model of the Statue of Freedom, which actually was basically kept in storage until the bicentennial when somebody realized, this is really cool. We should bring this out and put it on display somewhere.
Yeah, that's really nice. Wow. Yeah, I was reading up on my Capitol history, and they said that statue initially was kind of a quoting of the... Oh, there it is.
That's the original one.
Wow.
The one we'll be writing is a little more modern looking.
But anyway, they were saying that this statue was modeled after the Roman goddess Minerva or Athena.
She's supposed to be just a general classical figure. Actually, her headdress was originally going to be something a little bit larger, this would be symbolic of freed slaves. But then he had, because the time was put up, we still had slavery, so a lot of Southerners refused to let that happen because it sounded like we're implying we're going to free the slaves.
I see.
So,
a
lot of history next.
Great.
We're actually just going to check in over here.
Okay. So yeah, this is the replica then of the original one. When did that get out of service?
Well, it's on there in 1961. I didn't know that off the top of my head, but
And it was like maybe originally electrical, or is it?
looks like, yeah, there was electricity that went through the top and that sort of spun it.
Ah, great.
Sort of a very old school way to do it. I'm glad it's not like that anymore. I don't know.
This is great because this is stuff you never see unless you're doing this tour exactly, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, onward.
And they're just gonna check you.
Okay. Hello.
Camera bags, handbags, anybody carrying a pocket knife?
No, sir.
Yeah, I had to hear that.
Camera bag.
Don't look at it, just give us a chance.
But I personally love all the Greco-Roman statuary that's around the Capitol. And did you know that there are more zodiacs in this city than any other city in the world? In all the statuary and up in little corners and knickknacks.
Fun fact.
We'll have that for the toy.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
Enjoy the Capitol.
Thank you. Cheers.
Okay. So this.
They're really convenient. They're not like 15-minute wait like you're started.
It's not like Washington.
I see. All right. Great.
Yes, we can always squeeze it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. This is great. I'm having so much fun.
That's the metro car that goes to certain cars.
Yeah, that one's not supposed to be stopped.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be sitting there, so I guess we made a good choice to go to Russell's.
I see.
That one is actually entirely operated by computer as opposed to this one, which means that when you're trying to just barely make it to the train, you don't want to stick your arm in there. So try and make it so it won't stop.
Ah,
Thank you.
more Greco-Roman figures awaiting us. Justice, law, and order. Patriotism. Wow. Wisdom. That's great. All right. So we can encounter the rich and powerful at any time here, huh? So where is this now that we're at?
We're just in the basement right now. We're gonna step up onto the first floor.
Okay.
You turn right.
Always with the younger children drivers a little bit interested because they're usually they like the trains, they like that sort of thing.
Oh, nice paintings and stuff. Just on some unknown stairway, you got nice and elaborate things happening. I love it. Wow, nice floor.
So, these tiles are actually the Minton tiles. These have been here for over 100 years now, and they've been imported from England. And part of the reason they've lasted so long and are still so bright is that the pigment in them is actually baked into them and not just painted on top of them. So that's why they've lasted so long. But
Wow.
supposedly they are going to be replaced soon. But now we're in what is called the Bermuda corridors, named for Constantine Bermuda. This is a bust right here. So you can see they extend all the way down here.
And is he the artist that decorated them? Or?
Yes, he is. Designed and painted most of them. Obviously, he had some assistants helping along the way, but the majority of it was done by him himself.
Wow, look at that, like up there, a little globe, and wow. That's great. Where? Oh yeah, nice.
You'll notice not only are there various depictions of founding fathers around here, but you also see birds, like you were just looking at over there, basically modeled after the Americans.
Nice Masonic artifacts in this little panel here too. Awesome. Now it's Ben Franklin lurking in the corner. Look at that. Awesome.
Someone asked me last time. It was like Fulton, the creator of the steam engine. Is he appointed to the steam engine?
Wow.
I know.
Excellent. See, I'll be testing your knowledge because I'm a big research guy.
Well, the first tour I actually gave, the woman announced as we were walking out of the office building, asked me about a random sculpture out there. Is that an Alexander Calder? I went to RISD. I'm an art history major. I'm like, oh no.
So now, who are these patriarchal heads on the wall here?
These ones, this would be Jonathan Trumbull,
Uh-huh.
who
And
I
he
believe
was?
an artist.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't tell you
Yes.
who painted, but
Yes,
he
I
was.
think he was, possibly. Let's see. Nice. Wow, the moon landing. That's
On the other side, what's it Columbia.
moon landing. That's just for you, Lynn.
Yeah,
This does not have money.
Oh, that's the Challenger crew?
Yeah,
that's Krista McAuliffe in the center. I can remember that happening because they had it broadcast live in all the schools. I was in elementary school at the time, and it was a shocking thing. Now this over here is what? Is this signing of something?
Well, it's under the Foreign Relations Committee, so I would say signing of some treaty.
Yeah.
I see.
They all
Right.
kind of look the same in the,
See, this is the kind of thing too. I mean, I don't even know if I saw this corridor last time, and if I did, I didn't have time to video stuff.
Were you taking a Senate tour or a House tour?
It was just to show up at the Capitol tour,
Okay.
so I got
you
neither.
probably didn't see this then,
I see.
because the only two that come through is the Senate.
Wow. So beautiful.
And actually, they did a huge restoration of these corridors a couple of years ago.
Uh-huh.
Removed 13 layers
Wow.
of additional paint and varnish that had been added to try and restore them. But was not done properly over the
I
years.
see.
basically.
Just like the smallest panel, like that ship right there.
I know.
That's incredible. That's so good. Okay. Perhaps they're waiting for
Some of these
significant
are still
events.
blank, yep. So we're waiting.
The future waiting to be recorded. Nice. And over here, who are these guys? Any idea? It's like Mississippi River surveying of some kind.
Maybe this is.
Yeah, that must be the Louisiana Purchase of some sort.
Could it be Lewis and Clark
Yeah.
planning their expedition or something?
That could be that, yeah.
It's as good an answer as any, right?
And we're lucky today. The doors for the appropriations committee these are shut 11 times, but it's really cool when they are open because then you get to take a look at where the senators sit here.
Oh, this is where they hold the purse
that's-
strings?
That's arguably the most important committee right here. So.
Right, this is the one that decides if something's going to happen, really, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
You'll notice, obviously, the benches around the corner for staffers as they're coming in and out to brief their senators.
Wow.
And a nice big chair for
Nice. I just love the figures and the panels here. Venus, look at that.
Yeah.
With the star, the 5-pointed star. Nice.
decent champagne.
Is that the pentacle? 5-pointed star?
Yes.
That's mine. Da Vinci Code knowledge. Not gonna lie, that's where I learned that from.
Wow, look at that. It's amazing. Roman goddess of war, that's a thing.
I'm not sure why that's related to appropriation, but symbolic.
Well, money's the thing that drives war pretty much all the time, so. Wow. Magnificent. All right.
Harry, you can go right now. Hoping to be there.
And some of the statues, right, because every state has two
Every
statues.
state has two statues, exactly.
My state has Nathaniel Greene and Roger Williams.
So in the 1850s, Congress asked every state to donate two statues. The only requirements being they have to be in bronze or marble, and the person had to be deceased. So aside from that, you had free reign of who you wanted to pick. And actually, New Mexico only just now added its second statue about a month ago.
New Mexico
So it was
did?
finally commissioned, so now they're
So everybody has two now at this point?
yeah, so everyone has two now. The majority of them are housed in the National Statuary Hall, which has 38 statues. But for obvious structural reasons,
Right.
they couldn't all be put in the same room, and so you'll see them scattered throughout the Capitol building as you walk along.
Excellent.
And these right here are just descriptions and sort of detail of community birds.
Huh.
He's actually known as the Michelangelo of the Capitol, which will make more sense once we walk into the rotunda as well.
Oh, look at that. Nice chandelier.
Okay. There are a number of myths surrounding the chandelier.
Myths.
Myths. You may have seen it before watching C-SPAN, CNN. Essentially, anytime you see a senator being interviewed, it's very often in front of the chandelier. So if you ever see a chandelier, it's
That's
probably
the chandelier.
standing right here. Yes, there are a number of myths surrounding the chandelier. Some of them being it came off the Titanic. It came off a pirate ship. That Jackie O saw it at an auction and just had to have it, and then realized she had nowhere to put it, so she donated it to the Capitol. Another one, my personal favorite, being that Jackie O was looking for her husband in a brothel, saw the chandelier and just had to have it. I'm not sure why she was looking for lighting fixtures at that point. But the truth is much less interesting. It actually was bought from a theater in 1965. So I prefer the myths. It makes it a little more
The myths are always more
I
interesting
know,
anyway.
I know.
Nice Corinthian columns and everything around here. And what's this looking down into?
Just a research center before.
Oh, I see. So was there a specific reason that they had this here? Or was it at one point something else? Or
Not that I know of, it's just part of the structure.
huh. A cool place to be interviewed.
Exactly. Okay. And at this point, we're going to step into the rotunda.
All right. Wow. The apotheosis of George Washington.
You really did read up. You're gonna steal my whole speech.
Oh, that's okay. Go for it.
But yes, as you said, this is the apotheosis of George Washington, which means literally raising to the height of the gods, which was essentially the national feeling at the point of this painting. I wanted to raise Washington to that height. What it is Washington is flanked on either side by fame and by liberty, and there are 13 maidens which surround him, symbolic of 13 colonies.
And those are the Roman gods that are on the outer edge of it here?
Exactly. Classical gods are on the outer circle that they're all supposed to be symbolic of different facets of American culture at that point.
Right.
So you have Poseidon.
Hermes to Poseidon for that, right?
Right. Poseidon, Athena.
Yeah.
Got the whole crew there. I see. Mercury, etc. Awesome. Now the history strip, right?
Yes, the history stuff. Okay, what we have is a frieze, which starts right over here with the landing of Columbus, and continues following American culture. And when you get to right here, with William Penn kneeling over the box.
Whose grave is that up there? See, right, it shows that they're gathering around somebody's. It's like a corpse.
To be honest with you, I don't know. When we get to William Penn kneeling over the box right here, Constantine of Bernini not only painted the apotheosis, but also painted this frieze. And when he got to this point, at that point, he was 72 years old.
Wow.
Up on scaffolding, alone. And he actually fell. Managed to hang onto a rope and hold on for 15 minutes before somebody heard him. I was able to come rescue and get him down. He was completely fine, but after that, he never went back to the scaffolding, for obvious reasons. So after that point, another artist took over for him, using his designs, which last until about over here. At which point, Constantine of Romania had passed away. And they realized, oops, we measured wrong. And the original designs actually weren't big enough to get all the way around in a 360-degree circle. So this spot right here remained completely blank until about the 1920s, when finally an artist submitted to Congress designs that they liked enough they would allow him to finish out right here. So you can actually see the designs get much more modern very quickly. We have from the Civil War, and we finally end with the Wright brothers first in flight of Peacock. So it kind of comes full circle. The first landing of Columbus to the first in flight with the Wright brothers. That's great.
Now, what about these friezes here, like above the doorway?
To be honest with you, I don't really know. Native Americans.
Yeah. That's his last stand.
It's like they're stepping on some unfortunate conquistador or something.
That's what it appears to be.
How considered the last stand then? With all the...
I'm not sure. That could be it. Then you'll notice around here all the different oil paintings we have. Baptism, Pocahontas over here. My personal favorite one here actually is Washington surrendering his command as commander-in-chief over here, because it's such a symbolic event at that point in history that no other nation was choosing to have democracy instead of a dictatorship. And so you can actually see Martha Washington is up in the balcony with the grandchildren. They actually weren't there, but the artist decided they should have been there, so he painted them into the picture.
Well, that point about Washington, too, the fact that he walked away from power, he's the first leader in the history of the world to voluntarily remove himself from power.
And that was what set America apart at that point in time.
And ironically, George III said if he does that, he's the greatest man who's ever lived. His enemy at the time said that. I think that's very powerful myself.
And then you can see to the left of it, this is a statue to the women's suffrage movement. This was donated in 1921. And so you can see Lucretia Mott, Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton. The whole gang is there.
The whole gang.
And in the back, the uncarved figure, which actually, some have said that it's supposed to be left for the first woman president.
Hillary? They gonna start cutting that in 2 years?
I know. However, that's actually not what it's meant to be for. It's meant to be left uncarved, symbolic of women who have not achieved political suffrage and political freedom in other countries around the world.
Oh, that's an interesting point.
But if Hillary wins,
But if
people
Hillary
might
wins, perhaps
change
they'll
their mind
reconsider.
about what.
Okay, and that's what, the surrender at Yorktown over there?
Yep.
Directly in front of us?
All right, and now we're going to move into the National Statuary Hall.
Wait, just quickly, what? I said that's there.
Yeah,
That's
this is the
Pocahontas.
baptism of Pocahontas, right?
And this one here.
That was the Pilgrims en route to.
Okay, and this one?
That one I'm not sure about. That one is DeSoto.
This one over here is DeSoto.
DeSoto.
I see. Okay, and then obviously this is Declaration of Independence.
Yep.
Wonderful. Here we are, the statues.
And we are now in the National Statuary Hall, which is also known as the Whispering, because of the very unnatural acoustic effect this room has. This room was originally used for House of Representatives, about 1800 till 1860. After which point they got a new chamber. But the reason it's called the Whispering Room is because of the acoustic effect from the shape of the ceiling. And they didn't realize it when they first built it, and then they spent a number of years trying to combat the acoustic effect. They hung curtains. These are actually replicas of the original curtains, but the originals looked about the same, were designed to help absorb some of the sound. Finally, they put paneling over what was originally a wooden ceiling, trying to absorb some more rips. Basically, none of it was working. So one of the myths about this room is that John Quincy Adams, whose desk used to be right over there where that group of people is standing, would basically be able to pretend that he was sleeping at his desk and instead be listening to the secrets of the other side.
Right.
Because you could actually hear very well from where she was just standing to his desk from across the room, even with other noise going on in the same room.
And this was the original Senate or
House of Representatives.
House of Representatives building.
Yep.
Right.
So this room was actually extremely important and linked to John Quincy Adams' life. He was not only served as a representative here for many years, but he was actually inaugurated here, served as a representative here after he was no longer president, and actually died in this room as well. He suffered a stroke in his desk right over there and was carried into that room over there with the white door, which is actually now Dianne Feinstein's hideaway.
I see.
Capitol, and actually died on a couch there 2 days later. So this room played an integral part in his life.
But this statue over here, to me, is the most important one. The Car of History.
Yes, Cleo.
Cleo, Muse of History. And we note the zodiac globe that she's on. And if you get the book Secret Architecture of Washington, D.C., it tells how this whole zodiac scheme involving Cleo, Muse of History was about a deliberate attempt to symbolically have America leading the way, because Washington's face is on the front of her car here, and they have the trumpet blowing the way for the new republic. That's Washington's head. And Cleo, Muse of History, historically, she is history. She was looking over history. And so they were kind of co-opting the history of the world by taking this Greco-Roman muse and making her the centerpiece, so she was overlooking everything. And all the other zodiacs throughout the city are supposed to be aligned to directly refer to her at the center. So there's a huge spiderweb of zodiacs with this statue at the exact center. So.
I'll have to mention that. That's really
Indeed.
And who's that lady up there?
That's Liberty, right?
Yeah, I think her name is just Liberty. And actually, this statue and Cleo are the only two statues that are actually original to this room. So all these other statues came in after the representative was out. There wouldn't be much room in here. We're here also.
Awesome.
Do you want to do the wristband?
So, all right, this is the whisper spot.
This is the whispering spot.
So they'll speak and we'll hear them like they're standing right next to us. Yes, we can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
That is great.
That is awesome.
So you can see why there's so many rumors about that.
Awesome. Great. And these are all just a variety of the statues from the different
And
states.
it's interesting, I don't even know who some of these people are if they don't mark them.
Right.
But the ones that they do mark, for instance, over here, Alexander Hamilton Stevens, the Vice President of the Confederacy. Wouldn't have known that if they didn't put it on the statue.
All right. And they got, what, Brigham Young over here in the corner somewhere, I think? Maybe? Yep, there he is.
Yep. Then you can actually see in the back corner is King Kamehameha, the king who united the islands of Hawaii.
Wow.
He's back there because he actually weighs almost 9,000 pounds.
Really?
So for structural reasons, he had to
see.
go all the way back there. He's the heaviest of all the statues.
Awesome.
Raise your hand.
Excellent. All right.
So yes, as I was saying before, this is Dianne Feinstein's hideaway right here.
Oh, yeah?
So about 80 of the senators have hideaways in the Capitol now. Senator
Wait.
Reid is decorating his right now.
Uh-huh.
He just now got one.
We just put the TV down.
I know. You get to help bring in the TV and DVD.
So it's kind of like their break room?
It basically is a break room. It's almost like a dorm room or something like that. They have basically a couch they can take a nap on,
Awesome.
a TV, and a computer.
Too bad that Dianne Feinstein's, everyone knows where it is, and like it's in the middle of it.
But our senators is hidden away. Most of them are hidden away in the basement of the Capitol, just for long session nights. And there's they
And
have to be
unmarked
here till
as
late into the
always.
night. So,
Oh, actually, a woman. How many of the statues are women?
I believe it's 4. I've noted 4.
I've only seen.
Frances E. Willard.
There's a couple more on the house side. I've seen, I think, 3 on the house side. No. I remember one of them, I think, was New Mexico, and I believe she was a Native American woman.
Okay.
I feel like one of them was Montana.
It's tough because a lot of these are so old they're taken out. Like Robert E. Lee, they're not going to take that one down.
It's interesting, just a final thing on Cleo here, right? If you notice, her wheel is leading right over Capricorn into Aquarius, which is directly underneath the front of the car, because of the astrological symbolism of going into the age of Aquarius. Since America was founded at the climax of the age of Pisces, right? And they're approaching into Aquarius, and the idea is she's coming from the future, because the next astrological sign after Aquarius is Capricorn. So the spirit of history, who is living in eternity and sees the future happening all at once, is coming back to kind of guide us forward, because supposedly America deserves it, because we are the country according to the symbolism. So I could go on forever.
You could be running this tour.
Just the certain things that I know about, I tend to know excessive amounts about. So, all right, excellent. Ah, the head of Lincoln. Is that Is that
Yep.
Lincoln's head?
And it's actually intentionally left uncarved by the artist who said that he was leaving his work undone because Lincoln left his work undone.
Nice. Wow, look at the elaborate door. This door here.
Anti-storage, they actually do not lead to anywhere. They were originally built for an extension onto the west front of the Capitol building, which Congress never gave them money for. So it was never built. The door had already been built, and so they decided eventually to place them in the Capitol where the public could see them. Because
Nice.
It's actually, it says Apotheosis of America embedded into the wood there. Maybe if wood is what it is. Huh.
But you can. Some people have said that these are the original doors to the Capitol. They're not. They're much more contemporary figures. Like this is Edgar Allan Poe right here. So.
Edgar Allan Poe, huh? I see. Who are the other characters? Do you know?
Hard to make it out.
He's the most well-known character that's on here. See anyone else that you've heard of?
Let's see if my light will work.
Yeah, they do have the names under there. So, like Morse must be Samuel Morse.
Oh, I see. Yeah, Thornton, James B. Eads, Whitney. Huh. A bunch of glad faces from the past who did something or other, right?
Yeah, pretty much. You did something, you can make it on the door. All right.
Cool.
Have you ever seen the movie The Haunted? They have a really green door with a lot of faces like that. So
Yeah.
the door kind of freaks me out.
Father of Hungarian democracy. What? Kusov. Kosov. That's interesting. Why not, right? Uh-huh.
Okay, so we're now in the crypt, which was designed to be a crypt originally for George and Martha. However, both of them passed away before the crypt was finished, so they were buried at Mount Vernon. And they actually specifically requested not to move from Mount Vernon. So they always remained there, and so the crypt has never been covered. There is area, there's space beneath this floor that was designed for that. You'll notice this white diamond in the center right there, left standing around. That is actually based on the original design that Charles L'Enfant, who was the original designer of Washington. The original design for Washington, D.C. was a perfect diamond, with Maryland seating 10 square miles and Virginia seating 10 square miles. However, later they realized that they didn't really need the space in Virginia, so they only have the space now that they took from Maryland. Based upon that original exact diamond, that is the exact center of Washington, D.C. So it's from there that all the streets and all the buildings that they see are designed.
And is the statuary hall directly above this? Or is it the rotunda that's directly
The
above?
rotunda is directly above this. And L'Enfant is also, he was the one that created all the different circles and rotaries that are all over in Washington, D.C.
And all he gets is a metro station.
I know, and all he gets now is a metro station.
Cool.
Alright? And now this is where we're going to move towards the old Supreme Court chamber.
Okay. That's right, because at one time the Supreme Court was actually in the basement of this building.
The Supreme Court actually did not have its own building until 1935.
Uh-huh.
How's that for separation of powers?
I know. Sacagawea, there we go, North Dakota, that's another one.
Oh yeah.
With the papoose.
I don't want to cut off this tour. So this is the Supreme Court chamber that was used from, it was 1810 to 1860.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, they moved to another building. And the Senate actually took it over as a meeting room for a while, actually.
Uh-huh. And what is it used for now? Just
It's used just for display.
display?
Actually. It was actually used as a storage room for a while.
Oh, yeah?
Until prior to the bicentennial, as many things here, people realized, hey, this is kind of cool. We should bring this out and put it on display instead of using it for storage.
Uh-huh. Oh, I see. This is the chandelier directly above
Exactly.
this here.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
What the
Historical Society back there. They had a clock that was the car of history as a clock. It was really cool.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
I see. I missed that?
yeah. I caught it out of the corner of my eyes. We were going through. I wanted to run back and see what they wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
Where's the end of our tour? The end of our tour needs to be up here. Have your cell phones out and ready to be looked at.
And remote car keys.
Any electronic device, just have it out.
So I guess we're gonna hang back and let this tour go ahead there?
They're actually going to the galleries and try and see if we can skip past them, but
Other gallery.
Oh, sure. Okay. No problem. My battery's running low. Okay.